got a new list you want to introduce to us, and we got our buddies here. Maybe they can take us some spots we're not thinking of. Matt, bust open this list. What's going on here? What you want to discuss?
Yeah, just celebrating the Great American Bash. I thought it would be fun, and I hope everybody will participate as we go down the list here. But the top favorite things that wrestling fans love to bash. So when we're watching the Great American Bash, of course, our wrestlers in the ring bashing each other, but pro wrestling fans in general have a pretty good. I would say we've all probably done these at least once, and some of us just constantly do it.
No.
And this isn't a bash of pro wrestling fans. This is more or less. I mean, these are things that came to mind because I've done them myself. So I don't know. Let's jump in.
Yeah, give us an example so we know where your head's at here, man. What was top things to bash? Now, do you mean this is on social media, out loud, kind of a combo of both?
This could be you're sitting on the couch with your buddy and just talking pro wrestling, and this is the thing that your buddy or you are gonna have in mind, and you're gonna shit talk about it, and maybe there's no need for it, but hey, it's like I said, we're going by theme. Things that pro wrestling fans love to bash. Starting with, Mike, this could arguably be number one, but overbooked superstars. Talking Roman Reigns. Mike, my beloved Drew McIntyre became the enemy. We've even had The Rock booed when he was getting overbooked. So it's possible for anybody, but it really is something for me. This is number 10 on the list. But yeah, overbooked superstars. Getting the bash from from me, from you, from everybody on Twitter. If you win too much, fuck them.
I think the Mount Rushmore of people getting overbooked has to be Cena and Randy Orton. I mean, if one of them wasn't winning, the other one was. That seemed like it was a decade of WWE storytelling. And then I think Roman Reigns has also, chiseled his face under the Mount Rushmore of overbooked superstars. I might need some help to see, who you would even put on there for a non-WWE overbooked superstar Mount Rushmore, because it feels like if you win a championship, you are overbooked in WWE. That's, I think even AJ Styles heard that a few times, which, I thought he was our darling, and then not so much.
Well, the thing of it with what you just mentioned is a non-WWE guy. I mean, people are mad that Cody Rhodes wins matches, and they look at it as like, you're running the company. You should be building up your. You should be losing roster.
Every match. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like though that has been bantied about, and sometimes I agree with it. I think I've had my play on the show of saying that should be the case with certain Cody matches. Could you imagine if he went over on Malachi? But that's it, right? Like it's not bad. But certainly something we love to bash.
I think that I would be in support of Cody going over on Malachi if he pinned Malachi, peeled his shirt off, and there was a WWE staff shirt underneath. That would be a legendary Hulk Hogan-like heel turn.
Mike, next on the list. Or do you want to do some too?
I'm going to throw it in there. Okay. As far as things people like to bash, I think the other one is maybe on the other side, right? Maybe not necessarily overbooked, but they'll say that they're getting booked a little too much for who they are, and that's people giving grief to green wrestlers. I remember getting really excited for Jade Cargill, and I knew what AEW was doing. They were right when Bianca was at the peak of her popularity. AEW tried to prop up, a muscular black woman of similar age. And I was like, well, I know what you're doing, AEW. It's, it looks like you're definitely doing your own Deep Impact Armageddon situation. But I'm pretty pumped for Jade, and I'm excited to see what happens to her. And people really ground their heels in and said, oh, no, you don't. She's green. She's not Bianca Belair. And I'm like, I know she's not polished. But what I'm saying is, so I think when you have that argument coming out, you know that you're about to be talking about something on this bash list. So there's a lot of green wrestlers out there. There's some NXT guys who, people were not super stoked about. Man, I don't know if you have a better example than Jade Cargill, but that one really jumped out at me.
Can I just say, like, for green wrestlers, the one that I thought of when I put this together was Ronda Rousey. Because she looked great as like an athlete and she could do particular things really well. But then we also know that WrestleMania was a botch. So, the main event, where Becky Lynch wins both titles, botch at the end. You can't even see a replay anywhere of how that match ended because it was a huge botch. But it's funny is that you brought up Jade, because another thing that I have on this list is just sheer coincidence. It is another thing wrestling fans love to bash, and I don't know if you might have seen this on the list and thought, the fuck does that mean? But I'm talking exactly that. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill getting like the Ascension at the same exact time. Clearly, this is something Jade, like, look at Jade. This wasn't something where she woke up one day and was like, you know what, I'm going to get ripped. No, she's been fucking kicking ass for forever. But I was also, when I put this together, I was thinking of like the Daniel Bryan, Eric Young comparison.
Yep, that's the one I was going to bring up. Yeah.
Right, of Impact Wrestling and WWE. But we also brought up NWO earlier. And of course, there was the New Japan Battleground where they brought in another brand that was coming in. And people always rag on NWO being a copy for that.
You know what? Let's do a black trunked, mustachioed, bald superstar. We'll make him a blue-eyed badass.
I mean, there it is, right there.
Stone Cold Bill Goldberg.
You couldn't like them both. You had to like one or the other. So I'm glad that you brought up Jade for green wrestlers getting booked to win, because that was an easy transition for this one. Mike, do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I think one of my favorite and least favorite ones is other wrestling fans. This is easily a way, if you want to just kind of
I did want to save this one for last, but it's okay.
If you really want to clean up your friends list and just have heated debates that end in bloodshed, absolutely, bring up the opinions or the loves of another wrestling fan's wrestling interests. And you may never talk to that person again. As far as bashing goes, if it's a WWE person, bashing Little Brother, AEW, if it's the New Japan, elite, saying, oh, you guys just watch the McDonald's of wrestling in WWE. Why don't you watch a real wrestling match, right? New Japan is where it's at. It's always going to happen. It's always going to be there. And it takes a little bit of time, right? To kind of build out your Twitter list and block those people who are going to be like that for you. You really want to funnel it. So it's just the people who share the exact same opinion as you. So you really want to clean up your list and then maybe add one or two back if you want to, put 2 hours into a rabbit hole arguing what's better, AEW Moxley or AEW, I meant to say New Japan Moxley, but it's a fruitless endeavor to go through that, Matt. There's a lot of blood that gets pumped whenever you get on the case of another type of wrestling fan. Matt, you and I have even got into the point where we will say, just like everything. And people be like, no, why do I have to like everything? Stupid brothers of discussion. And then we get all mad and we argue too. But Matt, did you have an example for that?
Yeah, I mean, what's fun, I wanted to take it and transition into just something new. Yeah. Like that's my thing. And that's where I wanted this all to like come to fruition.
Kind of culminate.
Other wrestling fans. But something new seems to be the thing that is, to pro wrestling and booking it and anybody who's producing the show is just kind of like, Jesus, can we try something new? Because I don't know, like we do it online, and even I'm guilty. Remember they did the mimosa match, and I was like, what are we doing? Guys are splashing around in mimosas. Get the fuck out of here. Who gives, get out of here. Come on. It's pro wrestling. There's a way to do it. But no, then there's, the past year, and we had all of our cinematic matches. It's something new. It came out of necessity. But goddamn, could we not get through one without the entire planet going, oh my God, we're going to tear out Rey Mysterio's eye? Yes! Tear it out, swish it, chant and yell and do something. I mean, Aleister Black and Malachi is going to carry his broken eyeball with him. Why couldn't pro wrestling fans do it? So, yeah, to me, something new seems to be that one sticks with me as something that's really frustrating because all I ever want are new things in my pro wrestling. And anytime I feel like it's attempted, it immediately gets squashed.
Yeah, I got one for you, and they definitely go hand in hand. It's people, to bash anything that's absurd or goofy.
I knew you were going here.
For me, it's this debate, right, where I'm still trying to figure out why it makes people so upset. And I don't know if it's that they're worried that their favorite wrestlers, not being treated seriously for, like a championship push. But I look at it like a lot of the times I feel like they do have a vested interest in being like the buffoon, to be the clown. And I'm looking at you, Orange Cassidy. I love that dude. I think I have 2 shirts of his now. The orange one with the thumbs up, and then the best friends where he's like a puppy, and then they're kitties, and they're giving each other kitty cat kisses.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
But it's this debate, right, where wrestling is supposed to be work rate and
work rate.
If people can actually go and wrestle and what kind of submission holds they have, and I'm like, I want to be entertained. And Orange Cassidy, being a goofball and being, self-aware and tongue-in-cheek, and he can still wrestle too. That stuff is something that interests me. There's people that hated Breezango. They didn't think it was funny at all. They're really upset about Nikki Cross being a superhero. And the more we learn about it, the more she kind of sounds like she wanted to do it. So if that's what she wants to do, and she can sell it, what are we so mad about? And then, one of the infamous recent examples is Miz and Morrison fighting zombies. And I don't know if people were upset that they didn't commit to kayfabe and that they came back the next week and they weren't dead from zombies. I don't know if that's that's what's got people so upset. Or that they sold the zombies as being real. I thought it was a blast, and I'm pretty sure Miz and Morrison were tickled about it as well. Like they did a really good job, about as good a job as you could expect.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I would just kind of, recalibrate, what it means to watch a professional wrestling program, and I think it's okay to be silly. And as heartbroken as I was to see Nikki Cross, knowing that this meant, well, she's probably not getting a championship. God damn it. If she's still making money and she's having a blast out there, who am I to judge? And I'm going to be buying a t-shirt as soon as it's available.
Well, Mike, you were talking about what is, wrestling supposed to be. And that's like one of my big bugaboos. But you got to talk about work rate. Talk about work rate. What about big meaty men slapping meat? I think our boy Biggie finally sold me, because I was pretty guilty. And this is the next one on the list is the big meaty men. It shouldn't always be about AJ Styles getting all the love,
accolades, and yeah.
Give me Goldberg, give me Biggie. I want
give me 3 Goldbergs.
Yeah, give me 3 Goldbergs. I want to see them try to spear each other, go head first, and just see what happens. 2 guys built for football, just locking arms, locking horns, if I may. I mean, go at it. Like, this is something too where you do those big meaty men matches, and it's at this point something different. It's not just the the high flying stuff and the acrobatics. I think there's a space for it. And I think sometimes we just need to pull back a little bit and just kind of let the man. let the power like take over, feel the power. God damn, I can't get over all the New Day stuff here, but yeah, there should be a space for Big E and Roman Reigns to take over, have a short match, but everything is just filled with power. And I just wish that wrestling fans could kind of let go of what, again, the work rate, what it's supposed to be. What's a 5-star match? What does Dave Meltzer say was a good wrestling match? Okay, I like that one then. Just let it go. Let Big E and Roman Reigns go at it, knock each other out in a couple of minutes. God damn, would that be fun to watch? Because it's clean, right? It's a nice, clean finish when you do something like that. You don't have to overbook anything. You just got some power moves, and boom, you're done.
Boom.
I think I set you up there.
Speaking of power moves, Matt, when I introduce this next one, I'm going to give you one name, and I'm hoping to get a popski out of you. All right, so another thing people love to bash are botches. Matt, I'm going to give you, if you see this person trending on Twitter, a botch just occurred, hashtag Nia Jax. There's that popski I was looking for. I don't know. It's maybe one of the quickest things to see trend on Twitter is if somebody makes an oops, a whoops, and lays a little potato on somebody. Maybe it's Braun Strowman accidentally hitting Brock Lesnar in the face a little too hard. And Brock wheeling around and hitting Braun so hard. He looks like Snake from The Simpsons. Where his whole lower jaw shifts in his skull, and you can see it in slow motion.
Yep.
Yeah, Matt, there's a whole. We love Botchamania. We love Matthew. One of the top rated just video collections on YouTube is just wrestling botches. Matt, even on our show, you are basically turning it into a weekly segment every time Hall of Fame legend himself, Jim Ross, manages to make one itsy little mistake, and Matt will jump all over that botch and gnash his teeth and crucify that poor old man, just trying to sling some barbecue sauce, and Matt won't let him do it, will you?
Good old Andre, who made his debut on AEW. Yep.
Well, he is a giant, luchador, so...
Or wait, is it still AEW or is the hottest show WWE Dynamite? I'm sorry.
Look at Matt. Matt loves fashion.
All of these tiny little JR botches.
We're having a new entry on this list. We're just gonna put Jim Ross because Matt loves to bash him some Jim Ross. Let me tell you.
Hey, again, like I said, this isn't me telling people to stop bashing. This is clearly things that I do. I will say. Well, there should be a nice, clearly defined line, the difference between Nia Jax and like Matt Sydal fucking up, or like punches being thrown, I think, by John Silver that will forever be a gif of him just punching air. There's a huge difference, I think, between injuring someone and just kind of slipping off the ring and fucking up. Like, let go of all the slips and the whoopsies, but the dangerous wrestling I'm worried about. I don't know that. Right? No.
I mean,
we're good with the.
I thought those were some those weren't marshmallow punches. Those were real John Silver, haymakers. I don't know what you're talking about.
Into the air.
Yeah. That oxygen didn't know what to do. Man, I think we're almost at the end of this list here.
We fucked up. I don't know which one to end with because I think we went through some pretty good ones already. But I'll just grab one here. Let's just go ref bumps. Ref bumps get their fair share of bashing because goddamn is it over fucking done. Jesus Christ. I mean, we've had full pay-per-views where half the matches end because of some sort of ref bump. I think it's deserved. This is one that's on the list that absolutely we should bash until it goes away because refs should be smarter. I think it's lazy booking to continue to go after a ref bump so that two wrestlers still look strong, but this ref who's been doing it for 30 years looks like a fucking moron because he's yelling at somebody that's outside the ring, and then he gets kicked in the back of the head while somebody's doing an FU. It's just, or an F5. That's another one. But it's enough. I'm gonna throw that. It's on the list, but deservedly. This is not a list of things to stop bashing, but clearly, ref bumps, bash away. Fethtar says refs exist to bump. I
love it, Fethtar. The last one we had on here, we'll make it quick, is Schmaz finishes, because I don't really believe there's much to bash. I think it's a upstanding way to end a wrestling match and maybe even a pay-per-view.
One of the worst, like, how anticlimactic was the Sting Triple H match that, they built up from Survivor Series. So we're talking November to April. If not,
you mean Sting's old best buddies from WCW, the NWO, came out to rescue him?
Yeah, not only does that not make sense, but what the fuck were we doing? It's just overproduced. Let's make sure that everybody still looks strong. And then the big old hug at the end. Probably one of the worst schmaz finishes of all time. But yeah, I think this is about.
I think that's what people really love to bash, is legends. That's probably what we're getting at here. Yeah. That's entry number 11, but also kind of entry number 1.
Maybe number 1. Let's say let's say this is a good one to end on. I
can't believe Goldberg beat the Fiend.
Well, fuck that.
No, you know what? Goldberg created your childhood. Let him have one last match against this masked buffoon. I'm all over Goldberg. What a booking decision that was.
No, it's good to bash legends. Like, we got to tell them when to retire and to stay home. We know what's best for them. Get out of here. No, stop trying to Randy the Ram your career. Just get the hell out of here.